Yeah, Love and War, Act 1. What a title. What does that title convey to you, readers? What a majestic title. What a profound title. What ambition. What are you expecting from this game right now, viewers, with a title like that? Well, if you're expecting a game that's largely about a bunch of teenage postmen delivering rock salts and stuff to nearby towns, then you were definitely on the right lines. This is the game for you. It's time to play Love and War Act 1, one of the more famous early to mid 2000s RPG Maker games. But wait a second. Blast! I'm in the biggest dilemma I have ever been in my entire early to mid 2000s RPG Maker adventure life, gang. Why do I say such a thing? Because this game, although it comes from the early to mid 2000s, it was released in 2004 I think, there's an updated version! Oh man, that's right, there is a new version of this game that was literally released 2 or 3 years ago. Man, yeah, one of the very few old RPG Maker games that someone still cares about, except me. Oh brother, what a torturous situation this is. I mean, it was largely just the new version is mainly changing the graphics and, well, one quite shocking change, I must say, that you'll be seeing very shortly. One considerable change that's going to save me some bother. Should I play the original, or should I play the new, updated version? Well, after much soulful reflection, I decided that nobody cares, so we're going to play the new version. Can't believe this. I'm going to play a not early to mid 2000s RPG Maker game on YouTube. Oh dear. Busting out, breaking barriers left, right and centre. And how appropriate for a game called Love and War. A title that somehow manages to be quite profound and extremely generic at the same time. But then again, I can't really think of a better title for a game about, as I said, 3 postman pats, 3 teenage postman pats, traipsing about the countryside delivering parcels. Oh yeah, by the way, although the original was made 10 years ago and it's been updated like 8 years later, Act 1 is still the only act that exists. Man, if Shakespeare had churned them out this slowly, he would have written like maybe 4/5 of a play in his entire lifetime. Okay, enough of my stupid banter. It's time to start the postcode lottery. Now then, Jess. Now then, Jess. Don't you give my donuts away. Now then, Jess. 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 Oh dear. Oh good. Oh good. Oh good. Oh good. Now then, Jess. Oh dear. Oh dear. It's rotten. Rotten. Rotten.
I need a new battery in my hearing aid.
Yeah, that's where it comes from. It's time for some love and some war. Except again, it's really time for intense postal delivery action. And it would only be appropriate for a game with a title like Love and War to start with a quotation from Benjamin Disraeli, I guess. Not actually sure exactly who Benjamin Disraeli was. I think he was a British Prime Minister. And what an appropriate choice of nationality person to use. Because the hero's home country, the heroes themselves, seem suspiciously English to me. Makes me slightly suspicious that the creator of this game is perhaps a most excellent Englishman themselves, or woman. And so on. And especially have further cause to believe this when we find out about the new updated bonus extra special thing that has been added to this new 2012 or so version of this game. When men are pure, laws are useless. When men are corrupt, laws are broken. So either way, laws are a complete waste of time is what Benjamin Disraeli is saying. Just what you like to hear from the Prime Minister of your country. Once the world was at peace. What? Well, then why is Love and Peace. The game begins with an opening narration describing the backstory, describing the history of the world in which Love and War Act 1 takes place. It tells us about how there was... It regales us about... You'll see why I said that way later. Us about the fact that the world used to be at peace, and the reason it was at peace was because there was no kingdoms or empires or big entities trying to take over other entities, just a bunch of small towns trading with each other. So yes, humans certainly don't go about starting wars and invasions if they don't have kingdoms. That is how it goes. So everything was nice and peaceful for the human race, which is very nice. But unfortunately, over the course of time, humans progressed, advanced with getting new technology, all those iPhones and smartphones and tablets and stuff like that. The result of this was that the world started uniting. Oh well, that sounds like a good thing, doesn't it? Oh well, but they started uniting under kingdoms, empires and republics, like it said earlier, and as a consequence of that, inevitably enough, humans started fighting each other, wanted to slam one another in order to get their hands on that juicy territory and stuff on the world, which is called Terra, which is Greek or something for Earth. So it's basically Earth is what it is really, in another language. It's kind of like how Scotland in French is called Écosse, and like France in French is called Français. Français. Germany in German is called Alemannia. Why? This is something that's puzzled me for most of my life. Why do countries have different names depending on which country you're in when you're naming the country? Why do the French call France something different from France? Why do they call Scotland something different from Scotland? Why did that happen, huh? What kind of sense does that make? Surely, whatever the country's name is, whatever the country itself calls itself is the actual name. Why doesn't everybody else use the name that the country decided to name itself? That does not make any sense to me in the slightest, and it probably never will. What a note to start Love and War Act 1 on. Where did the narration get to while I was saying that? Yeah, basically countries started progressing and technology advanced, so they started forming empires and kingdoms. Kingdoms and empires started getting hungry for territory and going on bloodthirsty campaigns, attacking each other and seizing their land, which is not good. This stuff carried on for way too long, because us humans are pretty good at this stuff, until one day, one man decided to change everything. The Crown Prince Gerard Valtimond, who was the child of two rival nations leaders, most disgraceful. But he basically called a summit of the nations and said, listen you twerps, let's stop this nonsense. Instead of having war, let's have peace. Let's just be at peace with each other now, and then continue to be at peace, and not stop being at peace. The unprecedentedly wise words of Crown Prince got all of the nations to finally stop slamming each other and unite. For the sake of peace, love, justice, and the human race. Aye. Because we can't have all of this war going on all the time, gang. But if there's one thing humans are good at, it's war, so that didn't really happen. The Prince finally got all of these dweebs to join the Commonwealth Charter, which was a charter, a legal proceeding that got all of the different countries to agree to work together to do good things for each other and agree on stuff and pass legislation for everyone. Aye, the world united, aye. And the Commonwealth, if you're curious, ladies and gentlemen, is a real thing in the real world as well. There is in fact a Commonwealth, which was a bunch of countries created by Britain back when Britain mattered, that tried to be nice to each other. An agreement of common good and peace on earth between all the nations that had been conquered and slaughtered by Britain over the centuries. So aye, many parallels here I suppose. But even though things got off to a shaky start, the good old Crown Prince Gerard had noble intentions. But all of these leaders, world leaders, had hated each other for so long that they had a hard time actually having gentlemanly debates with each other, agreeing on stuff for each other's interests. But they got round to it eventually, and in general, the people of the world finally started to have a spirit of unity, and peace had come. But wait! Oh dear, maybe things didn't go well after all. Well, we're going to find out as we finally get to see some main characters. And you, viewers, are about to discover the special new thing added to this version of the game. Right now, the game has frozen. They're not supposed to stay standing like that. What is going on? What gives? I don't believe I can recover this. I don't believe the game is going to start working properly. It's just crashed. That's weird. I mean, stuff like this can happen if, like, you make a character move into a wall, but he can't move into the wall, but the game forces him to keep trying to move into the wall, but he can't move into the wall because you can't move into something you can't move into, and it just freezes. But that is not what's happening here. I know this works. I've played this before. Oh great, got to try again. I'll be back after I've watched that 5-minute long introduction again. The things I do for you lot, honestly. Alright, I'm back after literally 5 months or thereabouts, and I have finally discovered what the problem was. I'll explain it after you find out what the special thing is I was talking about. Here it comes. Are you ready?
Are we on the right track?
Oh yes.
Yes. Observe, right in front of you.
Pieces of paper.
They are spirit awards. The people have placed them here in the desperate hope of warding off the sickness. I sense no power about them. They are completely worthless. We will have to determine the source of this plague and eliminate it.
No problem. With the top 2 journeymen here, there's absolutely nothing we can't handle.
Your ears are not deceiving you.
Be wary, Samaf. Pride goeth before fall, an old saying goes. Overconfidence may well end our journey prematurely if we do not take care.
Forgive me, Caleb. I suppose your wisdom and calm haven't rubbed off on me yet.
You speak as if I was as old as Horman. Just keep your eyes open, that's all I ask.
I will.
And no, that's not the Team Sponkel Voice Actors Guild's voice. But I mean, come on, you could tell that because these guys are actually decent actors. And unfortunately, it turned out there was a strange glitch with the sound files in my version for some reason, even though I played this 2 years ago and it was fine. But, point is, I have had to personally hand convert every last one of these sound files into a version that works. The things I do. Anyway, yes, that's right. The updated 2012 version of this game has voice acting, full voice acting. Well, not full. As you can see, it doesn't voice everything, but some key plot scenes have voice acting. I don't know where all the actors came from. I don't know if the creator of this game has their own Voice Actors Guild, or more likely they just got some of their old pals and paisano friends to voice these characters, which is very nice, I must say. Very touching indeed that people still care about this game after 10 years. Anyway, the point is, the long and the short of all this is, there's voice acting, so... Right. Hey, Team Sponkel Voice Actors Guild, you're all fired! That's right, get on out, clear your desks at once, ponce off out of here, we don't need you anymore. This game already has voice acting, thank you. Take your minus $5,000 salaries with you. What? Are you kidding me, man? But I don't have a wife and kids! Tell it to the judge. Man, finally able to clear those bozos out of here. Cluttering up the office, giving all their money to the boss. Well, at least that's a few less people to worry about getting paid by anymore. Okay. No, yes, I kind of went on a tangent there. We are starting off this game playing as two mysterious mage-type persons called journeymen who are heading in some big cliff to investigate the source of a plague that has hit some town. When and where are we? Well, after all that Commonwealth stuff it would seem. But who knows where on this planet we are. That's quite a big gap, but we can apparently jump that easily. Fun jumping back and forth, isn't it? What? I can't jump back this one! I'll talk about inconsistency, Admiral Styles! Sheesh! You let me jump across one of these cliffs and not the rest of them? Yeah, none of this. What? And this, not this either. What an atrociously bad gameplay. What atrociously bad gameplay. I want my money that I didn't pay back. Deary me. Well, at least that one's jumping.
Caleb, is this really such a good idea? Once we jump, that's it. We'll have to find another way back.
Don't worry. God will show us the way, as always.
I don't see how that jump is in any way worse than... Oh. Okay.
Are you alright, Samath?
I'm fine. Let's just continue.
Looks deceiving! That was not a one square jump. He was jumping all the way down below that. Okay. And now where are we supposed to go? Over there? Obviously not that over there, don't be ridiculous. What the... You kidding me? Oh yeah, sure man, no going back after that previous jump. Never mind the jump that you literally could barely see where you're supposed to jump to.
Now even the weather gods mock us.
That sounds perilously close to blasphemy, Caleb.
Samath. Why do I get the feeling you'll be the death of me someday?
The death of you someday. No!
Do you know much about this place, Caleb?
No, not
The most
really.
subtle of foreshadowing in the world.
Kurov is more or less a fishing town. How, why, or from where this plague has sprung from is beyond me.
You sense it too, don't you?
Yes, there is a great power here. I don't understand how this could have gone unnoticed for so long.
Perhaps it's been lying dormant.
If that is so, what could have awakened it?
By the way, I highly doubt that the creator of this game intended this, but take a close look at Caleb's face in the portrait there. Look very closely at his face, like beneath the curtain, beneath the cloak thing. Like look at his hair in the top left, and his collar in the bottom. Just burn that image into your mind, gang. Because I'll ask you to try and recall it later. And I'm hoping the creator didn't intend this, or else I am seriously going to be giving you a most undesirable spoiler for this 10-year-old game of a series that is still unfinished. I mean, a series that hasn't gotten past Act 1. Well, okay, I'm not quite being honest there. There was, in fact, a demo of Act 2 that the creator probably thought nobody remembered, but you're wrong!
Samath.
We're getting closer. Much closer. It almost feels familiar somehow.
Wait, Samath. We should proceed together.
Why? So you can steal the glory? Like you always do?
Steal the glory, like I always do. Samaf, are you feeling alright?
Better than I've ever been, Caleb. Why?
Let's just continue onwards. It's getting far, far stronger.
Yes, a power beyond comprehension. A power beyond the pool.
There is no power beyond the...
You're wrong. Very wrong. We'll soon find out now, won't we?
But Samaf is acting a tad bit suspiciously. I don't know about you, gang. I mean, we're here as journeymen, whatever that means, to investigate a plague. I don't know why they're so sure it's in this mountain, or why they have to climb down all those other mountains. But apparently there's a source of strange power in this cave, and that power seems to be making Samaf act a bit strangely. I mean, I don't know much about the journeymen, who they are or what they do or anything, but they seem to be fine upstanding citizens from what we've seen, trying to do something good. There's some kind of order that go about doing good deeds for people using the power of magic, which they draw from the pool, which, as we can see, Caleb can use, doing things like summoning the will of the dead itself, which apparently is the desire to blind and confuse one specific enemy in some random battle. So let's just change our pool power to something more desirable. Aye, Caleb can change his pool powers at will. By using that skill, he can summon a random power that randomly does something random. Well worth your decades of magic learning. And have you noticed that Caleb is, in every single way, outclasses his friend Samaf? Literally every status parameter of Caleb is better. And again, he does have 10 levels on Samaf, even though both of them are at the maximum level they can be. Poor Samaf, he must be having a bit of inferiority complex, thinking Caleb's so much better than him. Man, it's almost like he's going to be the death of Caleb someday. Jeez Louise, as if though. What's this blast?
Strange. This is no ordinary door. How is this seal accomplished? No mere hedge wizard could control such forces. Another journeyman? Surely not. Who would have heard? Then who? One of the Emperor's men? Samaf, are you listening to me?
3 figurines.
Oh, what now? The game's frozen again. That is what I fixed every last voice file in this stupid game. Look at this folder packed with voice clips. There must be like 1,000 of them. I converted every last one.
You would smack.
Wait, what line are we on? Let's see. Oh, I don't want to... Look away from these file names, viewers. I don't want you to see the names of the characters that you shouldn't
It's
see.
fragile, then I'll carry it.
Right,
Hand it.
okay.
No mere hedge wizard. Samaf, are you listening to me?
That's the file there. So the next one should be working.
3
Yeah, it
figurines.
works. I converted the next voice clip that should have shown up, so what have I...
What?
I'm going to have to bust out the RPG Maker, aren't I? Brother botheration. That voice file's worked. It's the only thing it could be is...
What?
Oh, the music changed. Oh, right, there's music WAV files as well in the music folder. We'll be back soon, folks. There we are, fixed that.
Strange. No, this is no ordinary hedge wizard. What? Are you listening to forces accomplished? Another journeyman? Surely not. Who would have heard? Then who? One of the Emperor's men?
We need to find 3 figurines. We can open the door by inserting them in those slots.
I see. You determined this? Without even looking at the door?
Enough. Let's go. wasting time. We must find all 3 figurines before coming back here.
Wasting time?
We are wasting time.
That's what you get for making me waste my time converting 1,000 sound files. I don't know why that happened, honestly. Again, I was playing this game 2 years ago and that did not have to be a problem. And that was not a problem. I don't know what's changed since then. I'm using the same computer. Never reinstalled RPG Maker. Poor old Admiral Styles. I sure hope that no one else that played this game had that problem. Or the Admiral might have done all this effort for nothing.
A figurine. It seems to be shaped in the form of a woman. Is it made of wood? It feels remarkably fragile, yet I sense tremendous power within.
If it's fragile, then I'll carry it. Hand it over.
Very well.
But then again, not for nothing, I guess, because now Mr. X from Team Sponkel is bringing the love and war action to everyone else now. Anyway, right, so Samaf is acting weirder and weirder as we get close to this mysterious power source. Powerful thing. Powerful person or being or whatever it is. And he somehow knows that we got to collect 3 figurines to enter that giant door that's just sort of there on the cave wall. And to do this we have to walk down 3 long, puzzleless, rather boring, tedious paths. By the way, this section was added to the new version of the game, I can say. This figurine collecting stuff did not happen in the 2004 original. Not quite sure why Admiral Styles added it, because honestly, I don't really think it contributes anything. It's a bit boring, especially with these random fights. But well, there's certainly been much more boring things done in RPG Maker games, so I can't complain.
Another figurine. This one seems to be made of stone, perhaps. Very strong, very resilient, and I sense a similar great power within. Yet I see small fissures, cracks here and there. Perhaps the right hammer could break it apart.
You would smash it? You would smash the figurine? How dare you?
I had no intention of doing so. I was merely speaking out loud.
Give it. I do not trust it in your hands.
And finally the last pathway. You notice that Samaf is demanding for Caleb to hand him all of these figurines as we collect them. Starting to get a bit power mad, isn't he? A bit power hungry. Starting to get a bit power obsessed, isn't he? A bit on a power trip, old Samaf. It's almost like this giant power that's here is in some way getting to him. But I'm sure that nothing bad is going to come of this, so I really should stop even discussing such a thing at all.
Yet another figurine. This one seems different. It is... What is this material? Metal? Rusted metal? And it is not shaped like the others either. The head is missing, yet none of its power seems diminished.
I will carry it. It belongs with me.
Why do you say that?
That which is, is. What other justification do I need? Yes, I shall place them within the door. Must I give up that which is mine?
Now he's talking to himself, apparently.
No, I understand.
Samaf.
Be silent. This must be handled with the utmost care. Man, woman, beast.
Sure, Samaf. In we go. And, oh crumbs, it's crashed again! Back in there, and onwards we go. Samaf, get a hold of yourself, man. Getting paranoid over here. Why do you think Caleb's going to do anything? Why do you think that Caleb wants to hurt you? Honestly, you're just jealous because you're so much weaker than him, according to the equipment screen. What? I think we should get out of here, Caleb. That power seems to be that malevolent entity is burrowing its way into Samaf's mind here. Clearly. I don't know. Whoa! Man! Most vile monster attacks at the exact millisecond before Samaf was about to say something obviously significant. I'm gonna have to take it down at once. And finally, Samaf uses that skill that you used to be able to control him to use in the original 2004 version, but for some reason in this version, the computer controls Samaf's actions. Not sure why. You can immerse in his pool energy stuff and get much stronger. That certainly helped us to take down that thing. And I'm not sure why, but for some odd reason, I suspect there's supposed to be voice acting here, but there isn't. You can tell when there's supposed to be voice acting because the text boxes move all slowly like this and pauses and stuff. Admiral Styles really worked hard to time all the pausing and stuff to suit the speaking timings. Like, the text appears as the person says it. So, don't know what to tell you there, but it doesn't work here. And there is a most impressive picture drawn for the game of Caleb and Samaf there. Samaf's got a bit of a grin on his face though. I think he's just realised that 50% discount coupon for flat screen radiators at Salvage World is still valid. Maybe he'll put that into use after he's finished his mission here. But we're not going to know because that's the last we're going to hear of Caleb and Samaf.